Ever wonder what it really means to, strike it rich? Like, beyond the obvious, right? The money, the fame, all that. Well, get ready to dig deep, because today we're going back to the 1889 Georgia Gold Rush.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're diving into a text called A Heart of Gold, The Prospect of Hope. It tells the story of a young prospector named Samuel Evans. And let me tell you, this ain't your typical gold rush story.
I'm intrigued already.
You see, Samuel, he wasn't driven by dreams of extravagant wealth. You know what I mean? He was just 19.
Yeah.
This guy had faced more hardship by that age than most people do in a lifetime. Arrived in America as a stowaway, orphaned, alone, just trying to make a decent life for himself, really.
Wow. That's a far cry from the stereotypical gold-hungry prospector we so often hear about.
Right.
Makes you really think about the motivations at play back then. Sure, the allure of striking it rich, it definitely drew in a certain type, but Samuel's story, it hints at something deeper, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The text really emphasizes that. For Samuel, it wasn't about greed, it was about opportunity. A chance to create something better, not just for himself, for others who knew what it was like to struggle.
And that desire to uplift others. It hits different when you consider the backdrop of the late 19th century. Think about it, the world was changing rapidly, right? Industrialization, progress. But with that came a lot of inequality.
Yeah, for sure.
Orphanages and charities, they were often overwhelmed, struggling to keep up with the needs of a society that was transforming at such a breakneck pace.
Okay, so picture this. Samuel finds himself in Savannah, Georgia. Like so many others, he's drawn by the rumors of a hidden gold vein. Now, most folks, they dismissed it, thought it was a fool's errand, a dried-up creek bed near the swamps. Not worth the effort.
Yeah, I can see why they'd say that.
But something about it called to Samuel.
It's fascinating, isn't it? What is it that compels someone to take a risk like that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's that inherent hopefulness, the kind you often find in those who faced real adversity.
Yeah.
Or maybe for someone in Samuel's position, risking it all on this slim chance of finding gold. It wasn't really about the riches themselves. Maybe it was about seizing an opportunity, right? A chance to finally break free from that cycle of poverty he was so desperate to escape.
And that's where we really get a sense of Samuel's character. For days, this guy toils under that relentless Georgia sun. Can you imagine the determination, that quiet hope, pushing him forward even as his body ached, even as doubt crept in?
It's incredible. It really makes you wonder.
Right.
And it's often in those moments of deepest doubt, when we're pushed to our absolute limit, that's when we discover how resilient we truly are.
Yeah.
It's like those struggles, those moments of hardship, they refine us, They make us appreciate the victories, big or small, even more.
100%. And finally, just as his hope begins to dwindle, he strikes something.
No way.
And this wasn't just some lucky break. This was the culmination of sheer grit, determination. Imagine the emotions, unearthing that muddy rock, seeing that telltale glint of gold. It's like we can reach back in time and feel the weight of that moment with him.
I bet.
The relief, the exhilaration, maybe even a touch of disbelief.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because when we hear these stories, these striking gold stories, we tend to fixate on the material reward, right? The financial windfall. But for Samuel, finding that gold, it represented so much more than just money. Would you agree?
100%. And this is where his story takes this fascinating turn, right? You'd expect the typical reaction, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, indulge in the newfound wealth, buy a fancy carriage, a sprawling estate. But Samuel, he had something else in mind entirely.
Really?
He had a vision, one shaped by his own life, fueled by this wellspring of compassion.
Wow.
Instead of those lavish luxuries, Samuel set his sights on a rather peculiar investment, a dilapidated mansion on Jones Street.
No, Jones Street.
Yeah, and this wasn't some prime real estate. Back then, Jones Street had, let's just say it had seen better days.
It was an area steeped in history, though, but neglected for sure. Those grand old homes, once symbols of prosperity, they'd become faded reminders of a bygone era.
Right. It's almost like you can feel the weight of history just hanging over those streets.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You can almost imagine walking down those streets, the humidity hanging heavy in the air, Spanish moss swaying from the trees, glimpsing these architectural treasures, paint peeling, gardens overgrown.
Yeah.
Like they're whispering tales of a forgotten grandeur.
And it was here, in this forgotten corner of Savannah, that Samuel saw possibility, not decay, but potential.
It's remarkable, isn't it? The power of perspective. One person sees a crumbling edifice, another sees a beacon of hope. And his choice of location, it speaks volumes, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
He could have easily snagged a fancy estate in a ritzy part of town. But it seems like he felt drawn to this place, to Jones Street. Like he wanted to breathe life back into something that had been forgotten.
Right, like he himself had been forgotten.
Exactly.
Restoring a mansion on Jones Street wasn't just about creating a beautiful space. It was about revitalizing a community, taking a piece of history, reclaiming it, infusing it with new meaning.
Powerful.
It was like he was restoring more than just bricks and mortar. He was restoring hope, dignity.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the historical context here. Late 19th century orphanages. They were seen as a necessary evil.
Right, unfortunately.
A last resort for children in need. Places often defined by hardship.
And that's where Samuel's vision comes in. He didn't just want to give these kids a roof over their heads. He wanted to create a true haven, a place where they could heal, learn, thrive. He envisioned the House of Hope within those weathered walls.
The House of Hope.
Yeah.
The name itself, it's powerful.
It is, yeah.
Evocative. It speaks to the transformative power Samuel believed this place could have. It wasn't just about meeting their basic needs. It was about nurturing their spirits, fostering their dreams.
And nurtured them he did. The text really paints such a vivid picture of life within those walls.
Oh, I bet.
Imagine it. Kids from all walks of life, each carrying their own burdens, right? Finding solace, camaraderie within this incredible refuge. Samuel poured his heart and soul into making sure every single child felt seen, valued, loved.
It's a good reminder that true generosity,
Yeah.
it goes beyond just meeting basic needs. He understood that these kids needed more than just food and shelter. They needed belonging, a foundation of support to help them grow and flourish.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing to think about the ripple effect of a single act of generosity like that. Samuel's decision to use his newfound wealth to create this haven, it rippled outward, touched countless lives in ways he probably never could have imagined. Samuel, he wasn't about temporary fixes.
Right.
He wanted to empower these kids, give them the tools to create their own bright futures.
And that's the real legacy of the House of Hope, isn't it? It wasn't just a refuge, it was a launching pad.
Exactly.
Sending these kids out into the world to equip to thrive.
And thrive they did. They became educators themselves, sharing their knowledge, their passion with future generations.
Wow.
Others went into medicine, driven to heal, And others, they embraced the arts, enriching the world with their creativity, their imagination. These weren't just success stories. They were like testaments, to the power of compassion, opportunity.
It makes you think about the ripple effect. All those lives touched by the House of Hope. All because one man decided to use his good fortune to lift others up.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? The impact of our actions. It can be so much bigger than we realize.
Absolutely.
Samuel's story. It seems extraordinary, but in a way, it speaks to something universal. That even while we're chasing our own dreams, we all have the power to leave the world a little brighter.
And sometimes it's in those acts of selflessness, those moments when we reach out a hand to help someone. That's when we find our own purpose, our own fulfillment.
Samuel Evans. He might have gone looking for gold, but what he found, it was way more valuable. The power of giving back, using our own unique talents, our experiences to make a real difference.
It really makes you wonder, what treasures are we all searching for, really? And how can we unearth what's truly valuable? Not just for ourselves, but for the world around us.
It's like that old saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish.
You feed him for a lifetime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Samuel, he got that. He wasn't about quick fixes.
Right, he was playing the long game.
He wanted to empower these kids, give them the tools to build their own futures.
And that's the real legacy of the House of Hope, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just a temporary shelter, it was a stepping stone.
Exactly. A launching pad.
It gave these kids a chance to find their footing, find their place in the world.
And they did. These weren't just success stories, they were proof. Proof of the power of compassion, of opportunity.
It makes you think about the ripple effect. All those lives touched, changed because of the House of Hope. All because one man, Samuel, chose to take his good fortune and lift others up with it.
It's a powerful reminder. Our actions, they have this incredible ripple effect, often far greater than we can even imagine.
Absolutely.
Samuel's story might seem extraordinary, one of a kind, but it also kind of speaks to something universal, doesn't it?
It does.
Even when we're busy chasing our own dreams, we all have the power to make the world a little brighter.
And sometimes It's in those selfless acts, those moments when we lend a hand, offer a kind word. That's where we discover our own purpose, our own fulfillment.
Samuel Evans, he set out to find gold. But what he discovered along the way, far more valuable. The power of giving back, using your own experiences, your unique talents to make a real difference. And that's a treasure worth more than all the gold in Georgia.
It really is. And, it leaves us with a question, doesn't it? What treasures are we each searching for? And how can we, in our own unique ways, unearth that which is truly valuable? Not just for ourselves, but for the world around us.
Remember, true wealth isn't measured in riches, but in the positive impact we have on the world. Until next time, keep seeking those treasures that truly matter.